We are already into the 4th month of the year, and this brand new year has already brought tons of brand new games. Hi guys, it's Mr.CanIplay, and I've sorted through quite the list, and here are 20 best games of the first quarter of the year that you probably have already heard of or are playing. Starting off with War Hospital, which is a real-time strategy game with a new perspective of leading the medical corps during the World War I instead of the normal front lines. So your job is to basically save lives. The main aim of this game is to build a community of medics and survivors. Now for all the people who usually dislike war games for their violence, then this is probably one you should play as its focus is on saving lives. Up next is Tekken 8, which is the first major fighting game to use Unreal Engine 5 and the first Tekken game in Unreal Engine 5. Now the game looks incredible. I mean, the visuals are something else. This game is set 6 months after the events of Tekken 7. Now the game will have season passes, DLCs, and has 32 fighters. But it's Tekken, the game with difficult controls and hard to learn combos, which don't pretty much combine well. And yeah, Tekken. I enjoyed it since PlayStation 1 days, so yeah, I definitely bought it. Up next is Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, which is quite silly if you think about it because the original game came out just 3 years ago. But I guess since it was a PlayStation 4 game, they wanted to do what they did for Part 1, remaster it for the new generation consoles. Now they decided to move on with the story instead of some live service ongoing multiplayer experience, which in my opinion is the best choice. And you can upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for $10 if you own it on the PlayStation 4. Up next is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now this is a game which had very poor first time reaction when announced, but if you've played it then you know it's a great game with incredible fluidity, action, puzzles, and a great platform game. I get why people at first didn't want it since it's a Metroidvania that doesn't have the main character, and even I was skeptical at first, but this is a game with great visuals and gameplay. Up next is Enshrouded, which is a unique RPG that can be played co-op for up to 16 players, making it quite abnormal. Now it's a survival crafting game with lots of RPG stuff, and though it doesn't look like it, there are lots of things to do on this continent other than fighting monsters. Up next is Pacific Drive, which is a game all about driving a station wagon through this zone where there's unrealistic things happening, and it's centered around repairing and upgrading your wagon to help you battle through monsters and supernatural events. Now the game feels familiar because we have seen such texts before, yet quite different because it doesn't evoke them. Up next is Banisher's Ghost New Aiden. Now this game is about bringing a ghost Santa who loses his lover but comes back as a ghost, and you can play as her, and there's interplay between the two characters. Yeah, quite a mouthful. There are tons of monsters to fight against, choose your playstyle and have fun blasting or chopping them off. Up next is Helldivers 2, which unlike the original which had a top-down perspective, this one changed to a third person with the same look as the original. Now the armor system has been upgraded, the co-op is really cool. Basically the game is like the original but with upgrades. Now this is a game that I've enjoyed from fighting off monsters, weapons, and co-op. Up next is Nightingale, which is a crafting game with survival mechanics, open world, both single and co-op player mode. Now this game is different from the ones with the same tech. It feels like a combination of Skyrim, Bioshock, and some survival and crafting games. This game's perspective is amazing for a survival crafting game. Up next is the Inquisitor, which is a narrative-focused dark fantasy game that combines moral choices with your actions. Now the game is interesting, good aesthetics with detective and supernatural stuff. It's set in an alternate reality where Jesus is consumed by rage when on the cross and decides to go violent on the disbelievers. And now there's an army of Inquisitors who brutally enforce the faith on everyone. You are part of the Inquisitors and you are sent to a town full of sin to solve the various cases and crimes while uncovering a dark evil from another realm that is trying to enter into the living realm. Up next is WWE 2K24. Now WWE has been trying really hard to fix its reputation, and the 2K23 was really great, amazing. 2K24 simply builds up on 2K23 in a much better way. The roster has been expanded from the good old days of black and white wrestling to the current guys in WWE. It's highly realistic with great simulation, and it's a great game to play. Up next